Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, just squeezing in a quick news video between Ever Crisis in the morning and Baldur's Gate 3 in the evening. I don't know how I find time for anything. So, patch 6.5, which is currently slated for early October, had its special site go up. Now, the initial special site going up doesn't usually have a whole lot. At most, it maybe has the artwork and just kind of a reminder, bullet points of what the patch is going to have, whether that be immediately, 0.51, 0.55, etc., etc. Well, that's pretty much what we got here with the special site for 6.5, and as I scroll up, you could see our first look at the artwork. Of course, a little obscure, Justinian getting his face cut off at the top, maybe shouldn't have been so tall, but we're basically getting all of the key players that we've had across our 6.1 through 6.5 adventure, with, of course, Zero sitting at the front and center, or standing, I suppose, walking menacingly towards. So I think Growing Light is definitely referencing, at least in this artwork, that essentially Zero's losing a little bit more of her voice itself and regaining some of her humanity. We know that we are taking her to the first. She's going to be meeting Reen in patch 6.5 per the screenshots that we saw at the latest letter from the producer live. So it seems to be kind of the going theme here, and I'm really interested to see how her interaction with Reen is going to be. I'm also curious to see if she even survives patch 6.5, but that is what it is. Now, I'm wondering, because we normally get kind of a double entendre when it comes to titles. It rarely only applies to one thing in the patch. So Growing Light could have something to do with Dawn Trail as well. It could have something to do with the 24-man, or maybe one of the other features that we're going to be seeing. But that is our artwork, and I am a big fan of it. I think it's just a cool looking artwork. So as we scroll down, we get the coming early October 2023. So if you're wondering what early means, most likely October 3rd. We know the next letter from the producer live is at Tokyo Game Show on September 23rd. Normally, patches about 10 or 11 days after a live letter, or after the part 2 live letter. So we are most likely looking at that October 3rd date, which then becomes the question of 1 or 2 weeks before 0.51, hoping 1 week, because 2 weeks would put it just a few days before FanFest, and I don't know, I'd rather have a little bit of space, but we shall see. So in terms of features, for those who haven't been keeping up, main scenario quest, Growing Light, duh. New Alliance Raid Dungeon, Myths of the Realm Part 3, Thalia. New Dungeon, the Lunar Subterrane. New Trial, the Abyssal Fracture. That is against Zeromus, the final boss from Final Fantasy IV. New Variant Dungeon, Alo Alo Island. And then, of course, the Criterion being the another Alo Alo Island. So AAI. Not as fun of one to say. And AAIS with the Savage version. Both of those in 6.51. And I'm going to be rushing those down to try and get them done ahead of FanFest, because I don't want to spend 12 to 16 hours getting those done the first couple days and have to cover all the FanFest stuff right after. New Unreal Trial, Singularity Reactor. I'll say this. I think Thornton is overhyped difficulty-wise, but I'm saying that as somebody who had gear for it the last time I did it, mechanically understands that it's not that difficult. We've done way more complicated stuff since Thornton came out, but A, it's Thornton, and I don't want to think about it, and B, it will be at the Unreal item level, which might make things a bit more difficult. Certain checks in that fight might be more difficult, but it depends on how they actually end up scaling it. Additional duty support with patch 6.5. All of the main scenario dungeons will be covered under duty support, so you'll just have to team up for the majority of the 8-man trials throughout the story, which they might be looking at addressing in Dawn Trail and onward. Tataru's Grand Endeavor is coming to its finale in 6.55. That will not be till after the next FanFest from after Europe. So the Japanese FanFest in January, 6.55 won't be until after that. Weapon enhancement quests, Manderville weapons. These should be best in slot for everybody. Hopefully you've been keeping up with the very difficult task of having 1,500 tomes at any given point. Can't wait to need 1,500 more tomes. Let's not do that this video. Tool enhancement quest, the Splendorous tools. From what I understand, as someone who doesn't craft, the Splendorous tools they're really good if you do expert crafts, from what I understand. But other than that, it's just kind of So I guess this, I don't really know what the end result of these is going to be, but they'll be shiny. Shiny's cool. Endwalker Tribal Alliance quest. These are returning after taking a break in Shadowbringers. Very excited to see how our Endwalker Tribal quests all merge together, hopefully with a similar villain this time around, again. New custom deliveries, and that of Margaret. This person needs to sleep, and I hope our custom delivery is getting them something to help them fall asleep, because they need it. The 14 Fall Guys collaboration in patch 6.5X, unannounced as to when that's going to be. We're guessing it'll, probably be early next year, maybe 6.56. Maybe it'll be ready for 6.55. Who knows? But I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a new attraction in the Gold Saucer, basically the Fall Guys minigame itself, but as a gate. So I'm really curious to see that. Xbox version, open beta testing with the release next year. Expanded free trial starter edition. I've actually been getting a free trial character ready for that. Trying to just experience the free trial. I have a video series coming on that, talking about optimizing the free trial experience, as well as showcasing some things that you can do in the level 60 and 70 portions that may not be as well documented online. Then we have Island Sanctuary updates. They've already shown us this during the live letter. We have Crystalline Conflict new arena. That is going to be the Sigoli Desert, or at least, I don't think that's what the arena is called, but that's where it's located. New PvP gear, new mounts, minions, emotes, new fashion accessories, and more. We are very much expecting the Final Fantasy XVI collaboration at some point before Endwalker's release, so I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there as well. It's not confirmed. They said they would talk about it before year's end, or were hoping to talk about it before year's end. And they said the same thing about the Final Fantasy XVI DLC, so very curious to see all the 16 news we'll get and how it relates to 14. But that is the special site and everything that it has on it. I will keep you up to date as more stuff gets posted in the coming weeks. And remember, again, we have that letter from the producer live in just about 2 weeks from now, a little bit more. And of course, I'll be covering that as I normally do. Ooh, sorry, I hit something on my desk. Anyway, with that, I'm going to go get ready for my Baldur's Gate 3 campaign, and I will see all of you in the next video. Until then, I bid you adieu. Bye-bye.